Let's call to order the Social Services Subcommittee. And we'll start off with disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none, we'll move on to delegations, and there's none scheduled. And number 4 is the report of the Supervisor of Social Services, Housing and Manager of Housing. So I'll turn it over to Kim as she can introduce her staff as they come on.
Thank you through the chair. I am going to have the staff turn the cameras on so I can do a quick introduction.
That's a good idea.
And just a welcome to everybody. What we did for this social service committee is we also had each staff, each division write a report to kind of give a baseline of where we're at right now with the service delivery, so that you will have something to gauge moving forward. So the first report, I'm going to do it roundtabled from where I see. Okay, so I'm going to introduce John Ritz, who is the Supervisor of Homelessness and Housing. Then I'm going to introduce Jeff Wilson, who is the Manager of Housing. And then I see Kelly Stone, who is the Supervisor of Housing. And Darren Barkhouse, who is the Manager of Children's Services. Shannon Archer is our Business and Integration Manager. Alex Burgess is the Manager of Ontario Works. And Corey Gunn is our Manager of Anne Hathaway Daycare. So save and accept, we don't have Robin on the call. This is the management team for social services. So I will start. Thank you. Sorry, through the chair. Did we introduce the first report?
Right.
So we will have the housing manager and supervisor speak to this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Chair Henderson. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Councillors Dyejar, Bine, and Mordova. I look forward to working together. So just as this report's just kind of a quick introduction and update on our housing system and where we are, and a couple of things that we're looking at moving forward. So this is just a reminder that the City of Stratford is the Consolidated Municipal Service Manager for Stratford, Perth, and St. Mary's. With that responsibility, we have the responsibility for managing the centralized waitlist for rent geared to income housing. We're also responsible for the management and operation of the Perth Stratford Housing Corporation and the Britannia Streets affordable housing apartments. And the Perth Stratford Housing Corporation consists of 663 units across Stratford, St. Mary's, Mitchell, Listowel, Atwood, and Milverton. These consist of apartment buildings, townhouses, and single-family dwellings. And the last little piece, which I'm sure you're aware of, that I'd like to mention is the Britannia Street Housing Development, which is currently 35 affordable units, with another 27 being built and currently under construction. And my intention is to have a report to you next subcommittee with the timeline and a little bit more information about when that build will be finishing up. I'm going to pass it off to the housing supervisor, Kelly Stone, for a little bit of information about some of the work that we're doing with our tenants in our housing system.
Thanks, Jeff. Through the chair, yeah, so we have welcomed a third public housing review officer as recently as the fall of last year. That was a very welcomed addition because it has allowed us to switch our focus a little bit in more proactive measures. So the housing officers, or sometimes you'll hear them termed as PHROs, are able to do a lot of proactive preventative work. And so some of those things are hosting drop-in sessions within the buildings, trying to get ahead of issues before they become to the point that an enforcement approach needs to take place. Some neighbor conflict, trying to put supports in place, trying to get a sense of, real time being in the buildings, what's going on, and how can we put some plans in place to make sure that everybody living there has a successful and safe tenancy. Sometimes that involves things like case conferencing, bringing in additional community resources, trying to figure out really what the root cause of the problem is when concerns arise, and then putting plans in place to try to help people be successful within their tenancies and avoid evictions and the possibility of homelessness at all costs. That will continue to be a strong focus for the upcoming year. We are already starting to see the benefits of that, and you know, with an ultimate goal of our tenants feeling like they are, you know, a strong sense of community and not just neighbors living beside one another.
Thank you. So the report is to be received for information.
Sorry, I was muted. Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, the motion is that the report titled Housing Division Update Year in Review 2022 be received for information. So I need somebody to move that. Councillor Beam. And we need a seconder in this one, right? Councillor Niger. Jody?
For you, Councillor Henderson, you don't require a seconder at subcommittee.
Okay, okay, it's committee, we needed that, okay. Thank you. So all in favor? Carried. I mean, anybody against? No, carried. Okay. So we'll go on to 5, the report of the manager of Anne Hathaway Daycare. So information on Anne Hathaway Daycare Center enrollment status.
Thank you. Through the chair, Corey Gunn, the manager of Anne Hathaway, will speak briefly to this report.
Thank you. Through the chair, the purpose of the report is to give council an idea of where Anne Hathaway Daycare Center sits right now as far as enrollment numbers and what our licensed capacity is at and what our struggles have been to achieve full capacity, given that we're just coming out of COVID and all the restrictions that came along with that. So I would move that the report be received for information purposes, unless you have any questions about the report.
Does anybody have any questions? I'm sure a lot of parents were pleased to hear that the rates will be dropping.
Definitely.
That's a big help, especially in this. It's been something that people have been fighting for a long time. So the staff recommendation is that the report titled Information on Anne Hathaway Daycare Center's enrollment status be received for information. And Councillor Beam will move that. And there's no other questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Nobody's against it, so it's carried. Thank you. Report of the manager of Ontario Works. 2002 Ontario Works Year in Review.
Thank you. Through the chair, Alex Burgess, the manager of Ontario Works, will speak to this report.
Good evening, councillors. Through the chair, this report provides a fairly high-level overview with regards to the Ontario Works program and how it is operated locally. So it starts with an overview of our caseload, give you a little bit of information regarding the caseload that we support here in Stratford, Perth County, and St. Mary's, as well as a number of recipients currently in receipt of Ontario Works, with an average kind of based out throughout the year. Our current caseload is as accurate as the numbers that we have in this report. We haven't received any further information from the province with our updated reports to show where our caseload sits for November or December. So as of October 31st is the most recent information that we have available to us, which is the number with 674 individuals and families in receipt of Ontario Works. It goes through a high-level overview of our employment outcomes, as well as some of the provincial initiatives that we're currently in the midst of working through, as well as ones that have been rolled out over the course of the last year. So happy to take any questions if you have any about the report.
Does anybody have any questions? Comments or concerns? So that the report titled 2022 Ontario Works Year in Review be received for information. Somebody like to move that? Counselor Niger, thank you. And you have a question? No, okay.
No.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Six point two, Service System Manager bi-monthly update to council.
Thank you, through the chair. This is something that we're going to keep on the radar and with consistent reports to Social Services Subcommittee, as we are a consortium member. And part of the Service System Manager bi-monthly update. So I will have the manager of Ontario Works speak to the update on this as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Through the chair. This report just provides an update as to where we currently sit as a member of the consortium and with regards to the employment services transformation that's ongoing. With regards to Ontario Works, it's a twofold impact for us here locally, because it does impact our Ontario Works side and the employment services that we offer through Ontario Works. But on the other side, we are also the service system manager for the employment services transformation. There's been a lot of important work that's been done over the course of the last few months with regards to the mission, vision, the values of the consortium, the work being done to move ahead with the consortium, a current state risk assessment. So there's a lot of very important work being undertaken by the team. County of Bruce is the lead for this. We are a member. We sit on multiple committees with regard to this, to the consortium. So we do have input at all levels, including Kim sitting at the executive steering committee, as well as myself on the employment implementation team. So there's lots of very important work being done. It does highlight some budgetary impacts as well with regards to 2023. But overall, the report is just an update as to what the consortium has been doing, what work has currently been done, as well as kind of where the system is moving over the course of the next few months.
Yes, and it's been a very successful program, getting people moving along and employers helping out and getting people into jobs and making them comfortable and helping them. And it's been a great story, a great work on behalf of the city and the people that are working with them. Does anybody have any questions or comments? No? Okay. So the staff recommendation is that the report titled Service System Manager bi-monthly update to council be received for information. So I'll need a mover for that. Councillor Niger. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Report of the Manager of Children's Services Division Overview 2023 Outlook.
Thank you, through the chair. Darren Barkhouse will provide the 2023 outlook for Children's Services.
Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Through the chair. So basically this report is an overview and update of what kind of lies ahead for the Children's Services Department for 2023. As you all know, the CWELC, or the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Agreement that Corey had mentioned earlier, is now in place. We're in, I guess, technically year 2 of that. We had an initial 25% reduction last year for 2022, dated back to April. And now we're in the 52.75% reduction for all families through, not just for Stratford, but throughout Perth County, see a reduction in their childcare fees. It's been the program itself has been very well received. Obviously for families, they got a significant rebate check at the end of 2022 and have a reduction in cost. It still doesn't fully meet the needs of the childcare world with regards to increasing spaces and stuff like that. As Corey alluded, there's struggles with staffing, retention, and recruitment, and what stuff like that that's going on with the industry. So we've got a major administrative focus across the board on the recruitment and retention of quality educators. We currently oversee 8 service providers throughout Perth County that operate 25 licensed childcare spaces. So they are all opted into the CWELC program, and they will be for the following, at least for the next calendar year. Updates from the ministry haven't been provided about what the next reduction is going to be in those timelines, but we anticipate that'll come out likely in the second quarter of the year. and that we're also looking to explore a number of capital projects over the next 5 years, as the province has outlined in a fairly aggressive plan to bolster up infrastructure for alleviating the wait list that we're seeing, not just in Stratford and Perth County, but province-wide. So that's basically what the report says in a nutshell. So for your information, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Comments or concerns? No? Okay, so let the staff titled Children's Services Division Outlook 2023 be received for information. Councillor Beam is moving that. All in favor? Anybody opposed? No, it's carried unanimously. Thank you very much. And the report of the Supervisor of Homelessness and Housing Stability.
Thank you through the chair. This is John Ritz's initial report that he will present to Social Services Subcommittee. So John, have you present this, please?
Thank you, Kim. This report is being presented to you for information. As highlighted in the management report provided, the City of Stratford is committed to ending chronic homelessness by 2025. We have seen an annual reduction in data according to our local by name list, which is a live total of everyone experiencing homelessness within our service area of the City of Stratford, the town of St. Mary's, and the County of Perth. Our goal is to continue to build on this over the coming years and continue to expand our relationships with community partners who share this goal. Currently, 93% of our homelessness population is experiencing chronic homelessness, meaning that they have been homeless for a total of at least 6 months over the past year. This statistic shows a true reflection of the challenges we face with rapidly rehousing individuals who enter into our system, and highlights the need for affordable housing and resources to address the needs of our community.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? So staff recommendation is that the report titled Homelessness Division Update be received for information. Geese, would you like to move that? Okay. Moved by Councillor Wardorfa. All in favor? Carried. And I'd like to thank staff for excellent report. I think it was very thorough as usual, and I'm sure it was very helpful for the new councillors to hear the background and what we're going to be doing moving forward. And I appreciate that, and thank you. So our next subcommittee is going to be Tuesday, February the 14th. So we'll all have to be wearing our red for Valentine's Day, I guess. Maybe we'll be finally meeting in person, hopefully by then. And is there anything else that you want to bring up, Kim?
No, through the chair, no, we look forward to working with this committee for the next 4 years. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and look forward to the progress we'll make and see where we're at in 2026.
That sounds great. Well, it looks like we're at the end of the meeting. I'd like to thank staff for a quick and thorough review of each of their departments, because I know we have to quickly all have a little bit of supper before the budget meeting starts in half an hour. Well, 40 minutes maybe, but so then we need to move adjournment. And who would like? Councillor Beam is moving adjournment, and all in favor? Thank you. It's carried. See you later, and thanks a lot.